advanced as we may be, we are not advanced enough. This level of atmospheric corruption is going to eventually leave Earth in such a state, an irreversible state. Unless man stops this action, we will end up with a planet that is scorched and uninhabitable, just like our neighbor planet, Mars. And civilization as we know it will be lost forever. Why consider Mars in this equation? Well, as you may recall, I said that this type of event has happened before on a different planet. For that reason, I think that Mars was originally our home planet. Yes, that's right, Mars. The planet Mars would have been a lush, living, breathing planet, but was destroyed in such a manner that the demise of the planet and its infrastructure was irreversible. Is Earth, as we know it now, following that same route? Big question. How then did man become a member of Earth? This question is something that I feel is asked many times from inquisitive-minded people. Before Earth was inhabited with humans, there had to be a satisfactory environment. The right balance of essential gases and minerals that are required to sustain life. The people of Mars had to be 101% sure that the planet was right, and as a short-term measure, there were colonies established on the moon. A relatively short jump to the surface of Earth. These colonies and research laboratories were semi-buried in the cooler subsurface of the moon. This aided in the protection from solar radiation. Because the moon does not have the right atmosphere which can sustain life, there had to be ecospheres and domes constructed. The research performed in the moon bases would have been the Genesis project for Mars. Earth was the project. Creating the perfect environment would have been a time-taken mission, and as time would have been precious, the urgency to establish a safe, clean, home planet would have been top priority. The moon would have also have established temporary living and mission development units. These units would have been on the other side of the moon, the dark side. Some units would be on the Earth side, maybe those units were transportation teleports. The people. I think there would have been a selected number of people, being noted as the seeds for the Genesis Earth planet. The number of subjects would have been chosen from a pure genetic collection. Why did the people of Mars choose Earth as a host? Was it location? Earth was a young virgin planet, close and perfect as a host planet. Whatever the reason, it had to be important enough to move a civilization, or what was left of it, to a new home. Mars may have had some form of radiation poisoning, a nuclear disaster, a war of astounding magnitude that literally wiped out Mars. Selection would have been difficult, yet necessary, for the continuance and survival of that race. Due to the events that took place on the planet's surface, it became too dangerous, and evacuation was inevitable. Huge space stations, transporters, and ships would have taken the remaining occupants to the established moon colonies. Maybe even a deep space voyage was dispatched as a last resort for the preservation of their kind. DNA samples from all the mixed races would have been stored and monitored for the future, including the planet's historical records. Maybe there is a Martian space station deep in space that has that planet's final moments stored within its shell, yet to be found. I guess, if that were true, it would be like looking for an evil inside a very large haystack. Mars is now in total failure. The planet is no longer safe as a living, breathing planet, and Earth's moon becomes the new home, until Earth is regarded safe. Over many hundreds of years, the colonization on Earth and cloning continued. During this process of establishment, the Martians would come to Earth, leaving behind living samples of their DNA mix. They would evaluate and watch to see how they would survive on Earth.